Brilliance Audio.
Spring, Summer, Autumn, Us by Fiona Collins. Performed by Katherine Littrell. Rachel stepped off the back porch and into the bluster and cloud-shy sunshine of an English garden in early May, followed by Tatiana, known as Teddy to all who loved her, who shoved her hands in the fraying back pockets of her denim boiler suit and scanned the sky.
"It won't come here, Rachel, will it?"
Teddy frowned, as low clouds like draft excluders shunted sideways on the horizon, and the cottage garden's scatter of pansies and lilacs and irises shivered in their beds.
"What won't come here?"
Rachel was staring at the washing line, thrashing about with merry jeopardy in the freshening wind, her work aprons, the darks and lights of Jonny's socks, flapping like the ungainly wings of crows and doves.
"That poisonous air," said Teddy. "From Russia."
"From Chernobyl? No, I don't think so, Teddy," said Rachel. It had been headline news for 8 days, the explosion. That terrible accident. "It's such a long way from Oxford," she added, smoothing the skirt of her dress. "Try not to worry." They started walking down the steep slope of the garden to the small wooden gate at the bottom. Teddy is a worrier, Rachel thought. Jonny's 8-year-old daughter worried about school and knits and dogs and fitting in.
"What's it called again?" Teddy asked. "The stuff I'll throw when you and Daddy get married?"
They were on the lane below. A petal rain of blossom from the huge magnolia tree in their closest neighbour's front garden fluttered down on them, Rachel catching some in her palm, Teddy plucking at the air and putting a few of the flowers in her back pocket. "Confetti," Rachel replied.
"How many days away is it?"
"Well, it's going to be quite a long engagement," said Rachel. "We need to save up. It'll be more like months, actually."
"But one day soon, you'll be my stepmum."
"Yes, one day soon I'll be your stepmum." Teddy's face broke into one of her rare grins and she skipped a little through the ruffling pink blossom carpet at their feet. They were off to the Wetheringtons' annual spring luncheon at the 1930s villa towards the end of Hedge Hill Lane, one of the big houses sprawled behind hedges and iron gates and overlooked by Rachel and Jonny's tiny black and white cottage on the hill. Rachel could just about make out Rupert and Rosemary, two of the lane's genial, middle-class, Middle England neighbours, heading into the Wetheringtons' front porch.
"What time will Daddy be coming to the party?"
asked Teddy. "In about an hour, I expect."
"Is Nana Florence coming?"
"No, darling, she wouldn't have been invited. Besides, she finds this kind of thing insufferable."
"What does that mean?"
"It means she's busy, darling." Rachel and Jonny were invited to most of the do's in Hedge Hill Lane, despite being, at 25 and 27, at least 2 decades younger than the rest of their neighbours, and, potentially more alarmingly, having been living in sin for the last 5 years. This was on top of Jonny being divorced, and a father, of course, but he was charming, and the nearest the village had to a celebrity, and the neighbours were kind. Rachel and Jonny often found themselves walking down this pretty lane to attend parties and lunches and suppers and barbecues, the youngsters, as they were called, or as Jonny referred to them, the successors. An overhead canopy of trees, dense dapples of dark and light green, shimmied as the wind stippled coolly through their leaves. Rachel tried to put her arm around her stepdaughter, but Teddy was like water, impossible to grasp. We could never be mistaken for mother and daughter, Rachel thought. Teddy was tall, gangly, and almost Scandinavian blonde, with bright blue eyes the colour of Smurfs. Rachel was tiny, with straight-with-a-kink dark brown hair and green eyes. And everyone in Fincham St. George, Oxfordshire, where Rachel had lived her whole life, knew Teddy's mother was Nancy Little and Green.
"Will Faith be there?"
asked Teddy, having hopped herself to a safe distance. "Not this time," replied Rachel. At the Wetheringtons' last spring luncheon, her boss, Faith, had brought a glittering sort of party atmosphere, plus a bottle of tequila not many were ready for. "I think she's going on a date."
"And what about Adrienne?"
"No, she doesn't know the Wetheringtons. Besides, she's in Torremolinos.